gosh, we're back. I'm sorry it has been so quiet, guys. I have been working on a new program for the attraction formula. It's called Empress Academy, and it will be launching later this month in January because of some recent changes to the Skool platform. Well, not just because of that, but essentially what Skool has just done is unlocked free trials, and I was on the Hormozy 100 Skool 100 wrap call yesterday, and it's insane. So the average free trial, Skool just unlocked the free trial feature. So this is something you can toggle on inside of your Skool that will give people a 7-day trial of your program for free. And the thinking behind this, or the way you want to go about it, is like, what can I give them during this 7 days that is super valuable and that other people would charge for? Because we're going to be going over the 9 launch triggers that you can use today to sell more of your program. One of those triggers is reciprocity. When you lead with value, when you give someone something, they want to give something back to you. Now, are they all going to become like $10,000 coaching clients? Of course not, but are a percentage of them? Very likely. So having something, you always need something for sale. But what I like about this is, before, you would need a free Skool and a paid Skool if you were going to be selling high ticket, okay? Because you need to build trust. Like, that's just a requirement now, and social media is so noisy. There's so many things going on. It's really hard to sell high ticket if you're only relying on social media. So if that's all that you want to sell, having a free Skool community is a great way to do that. However, what I've been moving into more and more, and what I'm thinking about, is like, I really want to help you guys build momentum, create monthly recurring revenue, and I feel like my job, like what I do here, is to like help make this journey as easy as possible and eliminate as many bottlenecks as we can, because there's no one right way to do anything. You have to find your way, the way that works for you, that feels right to you. And I do believe that the way men and women go about building businesses is inherently different, and so much of the business teachings, like the business and wealth teachings, come from men, and I just don't think, it's not that they don't apply to me. There's some certain principles that are timeless no matter what, but the reason I'm saying this, like the whole reason I want to build my business, is to create like freedom and fun and flexibility. And yeah, I want to serve people at the highest level. It's my favorite fucking activity. I mean, I love it, of course, but like also we're not working to live to work. What is it? Work to live to work, live to work. Work to live. Like, you're working to live and to enjoy your life, and controlling your income does that for you. It does that for you. Like, it's so crazy. We were doing every year for solstice, my mom and I write down our intentions for the upcoming year, and then we review our intentions from the previous year. And so we just did this. We were a little late doing it this year, and we were seeing like who had more of their intentions come true. And of course I won, because I'm just inherently competitive like that. But I like blew it out of the park on my business things, and I was like, this is so wild. I feel like most people, they overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in like 3 years. But the same thing applies. Like, we'll overestimate what we can do in a month, but underestimate what's possible for you over a year. Over a year, so much can change. You could have a business that generates $10, $20, $50, $100,000 a month 1 year from now. Now, am I saying that's guaranteed? Of course not. I think it really does take 2 years to become profitable. And when you're only selling one-on-one coaching, it can be very volatile. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down. But when you're building monthly recurring revenue with a Skool community, anything becomes possible. You build momentum. And yeah, so what I'm thinking of doing, or what I'm doing, is I have free trials now to the attraction formula. You get a 7-day free trial, and during the 7 days, we'll do your Skool community game plan call, where we will put together your game plan of how you're going to set up your Skool, what's your strategy going to be, and that'll be part of the free trial. And then if you want to stay and you want more help, then you can stay. And if you don't, then you can leave. I don't want to hold anybody there. I'm really not a big fan of these like long-term, really expensive one-on-one coaching packages, because I think that most of us really know what we're supposed to be doing, but it's just like we struggle with the follow through and the accountability and the support. And so for that, I just believe in being able to like come try it out, see what you think. If it's helpful, you can stay, and if it's not, then go find something else that is. So these are going to be the 9 launch triggers for selling your community. And what else was I looking for? Because I want to help you control your income and build monthly recurring revenue and have this freedom and have this lifestyle business. And there are certain things that you can do and that you can integrate in your launch strategy, in your promotion strategy, in your content that help people buy from you. These are just the timeless things that apply no matter who you are. Before I forget, I put all of these into a Google document for you. And if you want me to send it to you, just comment launch below and I will send it right over. Okay. And this is what we're going to be covering in my upcoming workshop inside the attraction formula. It's just, I'll do this and then I'll shut up, I promise. No, I won't shut up. It's going to be a live workshop that I'm going to record with a small group of women. It's all about scaling passive income, monthly recurring revenue, and we're going to use a human design informed content strategy so that you're finding your way, the way that works for you. You're going to figure out like, where do your best content ideas come from? Where do you do your best work? What makes you feel most inspired? Like all of these things are so important for you to find a way that works for you. Because it's not about what works for me. I want to help you find a way that works for you. And so human design has just been a great lens for me to understand myself. And it's something that I fucking go hard for. I just love it. We'll get into astrology next. I just downloaded this new moon ritual planner. I was meeting with one of my human design coaches from last year, and this year is going to be so organized, guys. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so the 9 launch triggers, and this is really going to work well for you if you create a Skool community. If you don't have one already, you create a Skool community and you can have the 7-day free trial thing turned on. Think about what you could give people that is so valuable that they're just going to be like, I can't believe she gave this to me for free, or he gave this to me for free. And then you just sell the shit out of it. Okay. So in order to create recurring revenue, passive income, we have to have something for sale, right? So everything that we're going to be doing inside of Empress is like how to put together your own workshop, how to record it live, and then how to sell it on Evergreen once you're done. And so these triggers are specifically designed for that, but you can use this to sell anything. So launches require on multiple psychological and social triggers that all work together to create momentum and drive conversions. These 9 triggers, when implemented thoughtfully, create a powerful foundation for any product or service launch. Each trigger builds upon the others, creating a comprehensive strategy that speaks to different aspects, all the different aspects of human decision making. So this is just being clear about who you are and who you help. You have to be able to say without a shadow of a doubt why you're the best. So when you go to a yoga class and it's like a new teacher and she's never really done yoga, done teaching before, and she'll put her hands on you and she's all like, kind of tentative, and you're just like, gosh, what is he doing? Like, no, we need mom hands. Like, when your mom puts her hands on you, she's just like, nope, go here, do this, do that. And you're like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Like, you want a teacher who's like, you're going to do this. This is how this is going to work. Boom, boom, boom. Use mom hands. And the way that you want to communicate this is like, these are the 3 questions I want you to think about. And this is in the document for y'all. It'll help you reflect on this, but it's, what's the problem? What's the solution? And why am I the best? And I got this from Sarah Blakely, who is the creator of Spanx. I mean, she's like $1 billion company. She worked for 7 years doing door-to-door fax machine sales. And she just had to learn how to very quickly, like within 9 minutes, communicate the key points that somebody would need to know in order to buy, so she could quickly qualify whether or not this was someone who's going to be a customer. So don't ever think that your previous experience, your professional experience, doesn't serve you in the business world, because it all adds up and it all comes together just so beautifully. Same thing for me from door-to-door sales. Like, this has only served me in the business. So what's the problem? What's the solution? And why am I the best? And some questions you can ask yourself to come up with these are like, so what are the unique experiences that you have that qualify you to help solve your audience's problems? How can you demonstrate this expertise more clearly? And then what specific results do you have you achieved that can prove your authority? And whether or not you have case studies or testimonials is irrelevant. You are your first case study. And we're going to get into more on that in a minute. Okay. The second one is reciprocity. So create value first before asking for anything in return. So having a valuable lead magnet, providing like free actionable content, sharing insights without expectation. So what's some free content you can create for your audience and how can you make it more valuable? And from the 100 call yesterday, when we were talking about lead magnets, there's a guy in there who helps immigrants get jobs so they can get a visa. And he's like creating some new software for it or something. And Alex was just like, why don't you just like give them a trial run for free? Like, just think about like what you want to, for your lead magnet or for your free thing. It should be something that people would pay at least like $50 for. That's the level of value you want to put into there. And so having a free trial that you give them something very valuable during that 7 days is like huge reciprocity. You're giving them something that other people would charge for. And when you do that, they want to do something for you. And it proves your authority. And I have notes in this document for you to like prompts and notes to help you implement. Okay. So that's reciprocity. Oh man, I don't want to do that. Okay. The third one is trust. This is just like, don't lie to your audience. Just don't lie to your audience. So how can you be transparent about what you're going through? Like, you don't have to lie about how much money you're making or how far along you are, how many clients you have. Like, where you are is perfectly fine. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you're actually more qualified to serve somebody who's like a couple steps behind you than somebody who's 10 steps ahead of you, because the person who's 10 steps ahead isn't going to be able to relate as well to the person who's a couple steps behind of you. Like, it's actually perfect exactly where you are. So don't try, like, you don't have to pretend to be anywhere but who you are. And you'd be surprised. Like, there are people right now who are in your audience, like already, who are just like watching you. Okay. They're just watching you. They're consuming your content. They're looking at everything you do. They might not be commenting or liking or following or any of those things, but they're watching you. And when the time is right, when they have the time and the money, they're going to reach out to become a client. The thing is, one-on-one clients are very intuitive, meaning they buy when the time is right for them, when they have the time and space in their lives. And so that's why I'm really coming around to this free trial and with a monthly membership situation, because that's only one type of customer, and you're not going to, it can be, you want to sell one-on-one coaching. Like you have to at the beginning in order to like support yourself. Like, there's no other way around it. And especially if you don't have a very big audience, you have to sell high ticket. But like, as you continue to grow your audience and build your communities and like build the momentum and serve people, you're going to be able to sell more affordable, accessible products that really do provide value and be the one who controls your income. And so the three different types of customers are, so you have intuitive, which is what I just said. These are people who are a little bit further along in their spiritual journey. Like, they're not really like reactive or volatile or anything like that. They're watching, they're intuitive, they're listening, they're, seeing what you're talking about. And the other two types, the other type is reactive or like willful customers. These are the customers who you can absolutely use like scarcity and urgency, and they love challenges and like really active participation things. You really got to like kind of remind them of the value and get them to make a decision, because they're reactive. And these are people who are usually like very early on in their spiritual journey or spiritual awakening, who just still very immature essentially. But countdown timers are still valuable. Even for me, I feel like I'm more of an intuitive customer. I guess it depends on the product. But you got to give people a deadline or they're just not going to buy. But you don't want to be putting deadlines on your like one-on-one coaching packages, because that's not going to work for that kind of customer. The other type of customer is an intellectual customer. These are the people who like really don't care about, what it feels like or sounds like. They care about the data. They care about your social proof. They care about the case studies. They care about the numbers. And so these launch triggers are kind of each speaking to different types of buyers. And that's why holistically they can sell your products. Okay. So trust, just being who the fuck you are and trusting that that's enough. Okay. The fourth one is anticipation. This is something I've really had to work on myself, because I'm the kind of person who it's like, I just want to go behind the velvet curtain and and make something and then come out and be like, hey guys, I made this thing. Who wants to buy it? And that just doesn't work. You want to give people something to look forward to, something that's, you have to build up the anticipation. So these are all seed launching techniques. What we covered in the authority trigger is huge for seed launching. You're not even necessarily selling anything in that. You're just like, what's the problem? What's the solution? And why am I the best? You're giving away, you can do a free trial, you can have a lead magnet, giving something away for free, leading on the front end and letting them know, hey, like I'm giving you this now and I have this thing coming. I'm working on this thing because this is the problem I see. This is the problem I see in the world, in the industry, in social media. Here's my solution. And I'm the best because I fucking know my shit, okay? And I'm working on a new workshop, a new product, a new download, a new resource for you that you can't have yet, but it's coming. That's anticipation. Other ways to build anticipation, you can do webinars, anticipation is just when you're letting them know something's coming, but it's not quite ready yet. Giving them behind the scenes, showing them your day-to-day, just hinting and building up the excitement over time. Give people something to look forward to. So these are all ways to, a lot of these would build anticipation, but some of the reflection questions for this are like, how can you build excitement before you launch? What kind of pre-launch content would interest your audience? And I'm telling you right now, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And also they don't care so much about like the product. They want to know why. Why is this important? Why are we doing this? They need to understand your why. And so that's why the authority piece I talked about earlier is so awesome for sales. And you don't even necessarily have to sell anything at the end of that post, but I would encourage you to always have something for sale, even if it's something for free. Always have something for sale. Okay? Okay, so those are your anticipation. Okay, the fifth trigger is likability. So just being authentic and relatable to your audience. Share like your personal stories. Just be genuine in your communication. Show off your personality. Don't feel like you have to hold back. No forcing and no holding back. No forcing and no holding back. Be honest about where the fuck you are. Okay, for my likability, I don't think I have a single client who's come to me who has not had a not so great experience with a coach before working with me. And I recently had an experience like this with a coach. I spent a lot of money on coaching, and I think that I'm such an intuitive buyer. Like, I just buy from people that I like, If I vibe with them, I feel like they kind of know something that I know, something that I don't. But I think very prone to hire somebody and think that they know all the answers when they just don't. And I don't think anybody does. It's not even necessarily against an individual person. It's like learning how to trust yourself and trust that it's enough to be yourself, know yourself, and trust yourself. Empress is all about creating authentic passive income. So I've really been thinking about like how to be more authentic. Being likable is it's a piece of it. What makes you relatable are your vulnerabilities. And so yeah, I felt really naive, kind of stupid. I can't believe I had spent so much money on a coach that really wasn't aligned with what I do, and it feels really shitty, to be honest. It really threw me through a loop here. And I know that this is, and I've had a lot of really great coaches too. Not one person, is representative of the entire field, and I think this is just part of, my growth journey, I guess. But yeah, I was really I felt naive. I kind of felt taken advantage of, I should have known better, and I just never want my clients to feel that way about me. I had a client who she had joined and accidentally got charged an extra $500 yesterday about it, and I actually kind of knew it was gonna happen, but I forgot to cancel it in time. And so I forgot, and so I sent it back right away, and she's like, thank you so much. And I'm like, I would never, I would never, And you have to decide. That wasn't a refund. That was just an agreement she and I had. But most people I don't feel like are going to take advantage of you. I think most people have good intentions. I honestly do. But you have to do what feels right for you in your business. And you can have some kind of like refund policy, but I think a free trial really eliminates a lot of those problems, because they can try before you buy, you know? And will everybody stay for a year? No. Will most of them? Yeah, I mean, if you give them a good enough, if you make it valuable enough. We'll get into that more. We get into that inside the attraction formula, and inside Empress retention is like a big piece. But I'm trying to do this now to give you guys some valuable tools that you can use right now to launch your thing, and then build up anticipation for Empress, which I'm so excited about. Okay, so that's likability. So being personal, sharing your struggles and like the shadows and the sparkles. I have plenty of that. I just shared a whole video yesterday about my past with addiction. And this also has to do with your human design, your profile lines. Like, that's the costume that you wear. And so we definitely go into profile lines a lot more inside of Empress. But if you are interested in that, just look up your human design chart. You can get it for free. I've been using Maya Mechanics, and there's a place on your chart where it's like one number and then a second number. I'm a 4-6, and so that kind of tells you what you're here to do. And the sixth part of mine means I'm here to experiment, trial and error, and make mistakes publicly. So I'm living up to that. The sixth launch trigger are events and rituals. So creating shared experiences that bring people together. So this would be webinars, full moon rituals, challenges, new moon circles, meditation circles, anything that's like a ritual that brings people together. You got to give them a reason to join. One thing I will say is, like, if you're doing the trial, I do think webinars are an amazing conversion mechanism. Like, if you are hosting an event, it gives people a reason to join now. And people love coming together. So events and rituals. So hosting, like I said, group meditations, challenges, special events. What kind of events would your audience really value? Like, what would they get so much value from? How can you make your events more engaging? And what rituals could you create that would bring your community together? What brings people together? Which leads us to our seventh launch trigger, which is community. So audience. So like you have your community, but there's like the guru model versus the community model. And the guru model is where it's like you have one person who's at the head of the community and everybody's only connected to the guru, which you can grow that business. I would say, I've heard it's like you can grow it to like $500K a year, but like at some point you're going to need help and you're going to need more than just you. And so you want to do everything in your power to connect the members to each other, to create other connections, because think about how much stronger that is. If you've got a guru here and everybody's only connected to the guru, something could happen here and like this person leaves. But if people are connected to each other in the community, it's such a strong social network. It functions as its own kind of glue for retention. Yeah. So yeah, that's community. The eighth launch trigger is scarcity. I feel like this is just a long video today because I haven't made anything in here for a while, and so I had a lot to say. This eighth launch trigger is scarcity. So using open and closed cart. So if you're going to sell a passive product or a recurring revenue product, which this is what I recommend, this is what we're going to do together in Empress, is like you're mapping out your method, which would be like a live workshop or it's a live workshop that you record with people live, okay, which is always more valuable than something that's just evergreen, like, because they're getting personalized attention and feedback and insight from you live in the moment. And then once it's recorded, then you can just upload that and sell it as a course on its own. But you can use scarcity with integrity in that situation and be like, look, I only have spaces for 12 people in this live round because I'm going to be working with you really, really closely, and I'm going to need to give you that I'm going to be needing to give you a lot of attention to ensure that you get results. And so that's genuine scarcity. And another way you do it is be like, we're going to start recording this on maybe on the Lunar New Year. January 29th. I like that. I feel like that's what do you call it? It's a good day. What do they call that in astrology? Like a day that's like good omen. It's a good omen. Does that mean like the Chinese New Year? Okay. But using scarcity. This is where you would use like countdown timers. You want deadlines and limited number of spots. So scarcity and urgency are both, I'm going to include that here. Scarcity and urgency. So with this passive product or with a workshop, you want to do a live launch for it probably like once a year, which means it has its own webinar, or its own workshop, and you use to promote the program. And you're like, look, we're all going to start together as a cohort on January 29th. So like the last day to buy is the 28th or whatever. And it's very normal if you launch a group program and nobody joins for the first 2 weeks and then everybody joins at the last minute. That's totally normal. That's totally normal. And just understand that like we're building passive income here. Like it's not, I don't like to say passive as much as recurring, because it's still going to require some active time on you, but it doesn't require additional time in order to create additional money. Like at first, we're creating these passive income inroads, so it takes a while to get everything set up, but then once it's up, once it's recorded, once it's done, you don't have to do anything else to sell that except launch it once a year. I just think this is so elegant and genius. I'm in this new program of Mami Onami's, and hers Safe House. It's like $200 a month. I love how she combines spirituality and business. And it's $200 a month or like $2,000 a year, but she's got like 12 or 15, 20 different workshops in there that they're kind of all, they're self-contained, meaning like one workshop brings you through this whole journey. And so she's got workshops on all these different topics, and they cleared over $1 million in monthly recurring last year, working like 2 or 3 hours a day, 4 days a week. And I'm like, that is so badass. That is so badass. I'm just taking a note. Okay. So scarcity and urgency. And then the last launch trigger is social proof. So sometimes the best thing you can do is not say anything at all. Let other people's experiences speak for you. So if you're new, like we've already talked about, then just lean into being new. If you have case studies, use those. Intellectual customers love social proof and testimonials. So you want to, I'm adding this to my Notion business space, is I have a thing for where it's testimonials, so I can keep them all in the same place. Like I just really feel like organization and systems and automation, that's going to be the theme this year. And adventure. I was told by my human design coach I need to have more fun. And because I'm kitchens environment, which means like I like to be in creative hubs and have fun and like around where things are made. It's not necessarily a literal kitchen, so those are my assignments. Okay, so if you would like the Google document, the workbook I made to go along with this to walk you through each of the 9 launch triggers, just comment launch. I'll send it right over. If you'd like more information about Empress, just DM me. That will be going on inside the attraction formula. We're going to be starting January 29th. Okay? I'm so excited. Mwah!